So this morning I was listening to a podcast with Jordan Peterson and Lucy Perry, and they were talking about the sexual revolution. And then I came across this video with Abba and Preach, which I haven't watched yet. We're about to sit here and do that together. And it's titled 63% of young men are single versus 33% of young women. How is that so? And has me wondering, is there any correlation between the sexual revolution and this bit of data here that Abba and Preach are about to present to us? So we're about to find out.
I said this before, but the reason that you live life, in my opinion, is for other people. Which sounds f***ed up to say, but without other people, I think life is pointless.
Okay, so that's interesting. Hold on. And I would agree with him to some extent, because in my journey of self-development, one of the things that was taught to me was that there's three things that all humans need in life to be okay, to get by, to make sure that you have everything that you need. The first one is love. The second one is love. The third one is love. The first one being loved ones, as in blood family, because those are the people that should have your back the most. The second one being friendships. It's very important to be able to build those solid connections with people outside of your immediate family. And the third one, the most important one, romantic love, because with that one, you can create the other two. That person can become your family, and they can also be your best friend. So I agree.
One thing we keep a close eye on here is the crisis of young men in the U.S. It's probably one of the most charged topics that we discuss, inevitably draws quite a bit of few toxic people in the discourse on all sides. But my biggest problem with the state of mainstream discourse is conflating toxicity with the idea that we don't have a serious problem. A stunning trove of new data from the Pew Research Group highlights just how big of a problem we have, one that soon could reach a total point of no return. The first is the rate of single young men versus single young women. 63% of young men today, between the ages of 18 to 29, report being single. That is compared to 34% of young women.
Okay, I just want...
Wow, that makes so much sense. I'm looking at that between the ages of 18 to 29, 63% of men report being single. Hell, between the ages of 18 and 29, I myself was single. Between those years, I probably went on 2 or 3 dates, which those dates went nowhere. But the same most certainly was not to be said for the women in my age group. Ain't that something? I want to hear more of this.
Of young women.
Okay, I just want to stop it right there, because I remember when I first read this stat, I started laughing, and then I saw the homegirl, and she's like, how's that possible? And I was like, it's easy, because young women are dating older dudes. You know, despite all this talk about like, oh my God, it's so disgusting when older men go after young women. Did you not know that younger women actually like going after older men?
Big facts. Big facts. I would be considered older versus the women that I date. The women that I date are in their mid-20s, and I am in my mid-30s. So on average, I have about 10 years on these women. Women like to date older. This is facts.
And it's not even crazy.
No.
It's not even a weird thing. It makes perfect sense why.
Yeah.
The reason why younger women go after older men is for comfort, security. Okay?
This is one of the interesting things that I heard in the podcast this morning. This is scientifically known. It's said that young girls who are brought up without their fathers get their periods 1 year sooner. Now you might think, wait, why is that? What does it matter if a girl's father is in her life or not? Why is it that she's getting her period 1 year sooner or earlier than she normally would have? And here's the kicker. This is why it's happening. It's because biologically their body is telling them that they need to speed up the process of finding a mate, a man that can protect and provide for them. So their body is going to develop itself a lot sooner, a lot earlier, so that it can attract just that. I'm like, wow. Fascinating.
That's it. You know, we talk about how crazy everything is economically speaking. Rent's increasing, everything's more pricey, yet people still want to live a good quality of life. And guess what? Your average 22-year-old in college is not going to be able to give it to you. Yeah, he might have more in common with you to some degree, but the 32-year-old who got his own home, who's paying off his mortgage, got a full-time job, can take you on trips a couple times a year, and is much more comfortable in his being because he's had more experience, is going to be way more attractive than a 22-year-old who's just trying to figure it out. I can tell you this, dating at 32 is the easiest thing ever in my life now.
Yeah, but I am with you on that, my brother. Dating at 34, 35 has been the best dating experiences of my life. And the most pleasurable, if you know what I mean.
Dating at 22 was a struggle.
Woo! whew, it was impossible for your boy. I'm not gonna hold you.
Do you know how hard it is to try to invite a girl back to your mom's place?
Exactly. And then I gave up. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more.
Or your rundown little apartment when I had one? Not the easiest. Not the easiest. I sure as hell wasn't confident. What did I have to be confident about? Got very little money, got only a half decent job, and I'm still figuring out who the I am.
I didn't even have a half decent job, more like a dead end job.
These women are gonna go for older men. So that's why I always laugh and be like, ew, so disgusting. Why would these older guys ever want to be with these younger women? Because these younger women are aggressively going after these older guys.
And part of the reason too, yes, like he said, these younger girls are going after older guys, but part of the reason why older guys are more inclined to want to be with these younger girls is because, like myself, I didn't get to have those experiences when I was that age. No one was checking for me. So I don't want to, now that I have increased dateability, I don't want to just jump into dating older women, right? Or women my age. There are also considered to be older women that have been through a lot, if you know what I'm saying. I want to be able to enjoy what I didn't get to enjoy in my youth, right? It only makes sense. It only makes sense.
And as a man, when you're being desired by a woman, it's actually pretty appealing. It feels good. I personally have a hard time with it because culturally, sometimes I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect in terms of life goals. What do you think about this stat, this number?
I agree. It's like, ew. Have you been out? Do you get out of your house? Do you go online? Under what rock do you live? I don't see what you don't see. I don't get it. Like, do you even go out? Do you hear people talk? Do you see people at concerts? The people that buy concert tickets is women. The people that scream at concerts, women. People that try to go backstage for men performers or women performers, women.
Mostly women.
Women are big time consumers. They like to live and experience things, and that shit costs money.
If you talk about your typical groupie, it's not a man, it's a woman. Talk about comedy. All my female.
Yeah, men, you know, a lot of young girls get to have amazing life experiences at young ages with little to no charge, right? Free of charge, a lot of them. But men have to be the ones to pay for those experiences, not only for that young girl, but for themselves as well. So when a man get a bag, ladies, if he didn't have a lot going on for himself in his younger years, he's gonna live his best life. Best believe that.
Comedian colleagues do not have the same relationship with women that we do, men comedians. Motherfuckers trying to find out where we stay at when we gonna perform next in their city. Not the women's, not so much. But it's always women. Oftentimes women. And there's some men here and there. The majority.
Ooh, wow. He's saying something. Yo, he is saying something. If he's getting at what I think he's getting at, I've had that experience too.
Yeah.
And no matter what performer, that's the thing. For comedy is what I noticed. But then if you talk about music, the groupies, the term groupie is female,
right,
to me.
I agree.
Most of the time, it is, or very feminine.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think this has like a much larger effect because one of the other stats in the Pew Research said something like, I think it's like 52% are not even interested in trying or care to try.
Yeah.
And when you look at some of the reasons why, they feel like it's too expensive, they feel like they're not good matches, they feel like society's not good for them, whatever. When you look at the MGTOW movement, I remember when I was talking about this maybe 7 years ago, everyone thought it was a theme. And come to today, now it's becoming more and more, where in fact, for young men, it's the majority. Majority of them. Not that they've subscribed to MGTOW or going their way, but like they just checked out of dating. And it's happening more and more. Men have checked out of college, men have checked out of dating, and what ends up happening is right now it doesn't seem like such a big problem.
Yeah, it doesn't now, but when you fast forward a few years, you're gonna realize just how huge of an issue this is. Females, it's almost like what we see from hypergamy, how pergamy is going to switch. Women are going to be the overall breadwinners while most men aren't. That's just what it's gonna be. Women are gonna still want those type of guys, but then they're gonna come to this realization probably within the next 10 years where, nah, you better go ahead and accept the fact that you're the breadwinner, because more women are in college than there are men, and more men are checking out of dating than their female counterparts.
But there are only so many older men. And a lot of these older men are married to women their own age. And so for the younger women who want to get with these guys, they're not always going to be available. So you're going to have a sexless generation at some point, or a large chunk of it being without companionship,
yes,
without any kind of intimate relationship. And
I can't remember where exactly in Asia this is, but I just heard recently that the ratio of women to men is so high that most of the women have already accepted the idea that if they're going to be in a relationship, they will have to share him with at least one other woman. If y'all know where I'm talking about, please comment down below. I'm pretty sure the other viewers that are watching want to know where that place is as well.
But anybody who's been able to benefit from the upsides of being in a relationship, the proximity to being someone, to being touched by someone you love, to have people you can actually share that stuff with every day in a close relationship, you understand its benefits tremendously. If you go through life, your entire life without it, you're missing out on one of the biggest parts of the human experience. Nice. I don't care what nobody says about, oh my God, being single is so much less stress. Yeah, it's also less happiness.
Most certainly. Most certainly.
I'm not talking about staying some kind of shitty abuse. I'm not talking about those garbage relationships. Prince, you could speak to this. The idea of being single in comparison to where you at.
I don't look too promising.
Yeah.
Just this world is not made to be single.
No.
The world, the way it's made, is not. If you live in a big city, or in a city at all,
go for it.
Everything is going to be like everything. All the price of everything is much more expensive. So 2 income is better than 1. I mean, I was never good at math, but
2 incomes is better than 1 when both incomes are willing to put incomes together for the greater cause. But you know, a lot of these modern women, and if you're not willing to put your money with a man's to make life easier for both of y'all, then you're a modern woman. Oops. Women gonna be in here be like, no, that's just traditional. That's traditional values. Tradition would be you keeping your butt at home and you don't have a job. Back in the day when those women was working, they were working to help their man because they needed to have 2 incomes. You gonna be traditional, really be traditional. Don't play nobody. Ain't nobody stupid now.
Good at math, but this math I understand. 2 income is better than 1. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And with the chores and everything that you have to do around the house or stuff like that, it's better to be 2. It's better to be 2. It takes 2 to tango. And yeah, the everything is constructed the way the banks are working. If you want to adopt a child, alone is going to be a big mess. It's going to be rough, tiring, exhausting. 2, way better. Yeah, definitely. When you grow up and you look at your parents and you think it's your parents, you're like, pfft. Sometimes you're like, y'all motherfuckers should split. Y'all motherfuckers don't love each other.
Yeah, it's funny when the kids come to that realization before the parents fully accept it. And a lot of times the parents would be like, oh no, we shouldn't do this for the sake of the children. But the children have already came to that acceptance. They would rather y'all be apart and be happy apart than to stay together and be miserable. So have that conversation with your kids. And you might think what age to have that conversation. You know your child. You know what their mind is capable of understanding.
This is talking about my parents, but I've seen that happen in a lot of families. Y'all motherfuckers don't love each other. And then you wonder why. Why they stay together? How couldn't that? I understand now. Oh, now that I'm an adult, I get it now. When you get the bills and you got the kids and you're like, I could split. But let me stick on together because I'd rather stay together and be here and not be as happy. It's better be with someone and not happy than be with someone with nobody and be miserable.
Really?
No, not really. But that's how they think, and I understand why they would think like that.
Okay.
Just because of the weight of the bills and the weight of and the burden of life. I don't agree. I want my peace of mind. But the bills is a lot.
So since I couldn't get the guy on the channel, remember I told y'all there was a dude I had ran into at the gym, and he told me a crazy story about his ex and how that whole thing unfolded and the relationship that he's currently in. And you would think he would be smart enough to have learned the first time around, which is another reason why I am petrified of getting married and having the government have anything to do with it. So this man told me his first wife, after divorcing her, his daughter is 29 years old, but he had to pay child support for that daughter. Mind you, he kept the child. The child lived with him full time, 7 days a week, and would go and visit the mother on specific days, like every 2 weeks or so, right? But most of the time that child was with him. By the time she turned 16 years old, he was fed up. He's like, I'm not paying this woman no more child support. She can forget it. The girl went to go visit her mother. She came back to report to her dad. She was like, Dad, you better pay Mom. He was like, what? I'm not paying her nothing. She was like, Dad, Mom is about to take you to court. Mind you, he lost his house to that woman. He gave that woman his house. Fast forward, the woman that he's with right now, he has a little boy with. It's an Asian woman. He thought, you know what? This is going to be different. It's going to be different this time around. He's like, this woman don't put out. You know what I mean by that? He's like, she don't take care of nothing around the house. All she wants to do is spend his money. And he told her too much about his past relationship, so now he fears if he tries to leave her, she's going to do the same thing. And he wants to stick this out for the sake of his son. Even though he is the breadwinner, the provider, she does absolutely nothing but spend his money. He doesn't want to put his son through the torment, through the torture of a divorce and his parents splitting up. I'm like, wow. He's like, I'm trapped. She was like, she has trapped me and she's not putting out. Be aware, fellas, be aware.
Listen, I think it's bad to have this conversation and always think, well, it's better than having a bad relationship. Sure, but it's not better than having a good relationship.
Let's say
you know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't always argue by the worst standard possible. And I think that's what a lot of people do in this, because they've had some bad relationships. And maybe there's things about yourself that you need to fix. Maybe your selection process is trash. I refuse to believe that most of the people out there are bad people. I refuse to believe that most of the people out there were not in some ways good for you.
I agree. I agree with him 100%. I do not feel as though most people are bad. But if you do, maybe you need to reevaluate how you're looking at life.
Listen, if you're constantly having bad relationships, at some point you gotta look at yourself and be like, maybe I'm the reason this is all fucking up. And if you want to give up, you give up. But you have to understand, for society as a whole, and so many people are checking out, not because they've tried and failed, but because they can't have a chance, or they feel like they're not good enough, or they feel priced out, which is what a lot of people say. Like, if you don't have a college degree, these women are not checking for you. They want to be with dudes who are college educated a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll never forget, I was on a dating app, and this girl, she had a college education, or she was in school, or she graduated, or whatever the heck. So she asked me, she's like, oh, so what do you want to do in life, or what is it that you're doing now? And I was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And then she immediately stopped responding to me. Fast forward to today, and I own multiple businesses. She didn't dodge a bullet, I did.
This is not me sitting here saying women, your standards are for wanting to be with a college student. It's not even that, because I could understand why. Maybe college helps you to understand, like, he's got the same values. He's going to be career-oriented. He's been able to make good investments, whatever. If that you want to make that, it's not unreasonable criteria. My point is, I think it's a dark place we're heading towards. That's where I'm getting at. And I question what this is going to look like 20 or 30 years from now. You know, during the pandemic, we had so many people who just went on Twitch every day and spent all their days gaming and doing all this other stuff, and that's kind of carried over. And there's people who get no social interaction. I want y'all to think about what that's going to do to the psyche of people 20, 15 years from now when they're that detached.
All right, so to add on to that, this is something else that I learned listening to one of Jordan Peterson podcasts. I believe he said by 2040 that we as a nation are going to be $1 trillion less richer because of the pandemic and because of the lack of education that the youth were receiving during those times. Those Zoom classes and junk wasn't beneficial.
Human connection. That's what I worry about.
There's a big ass company that's gonna take advantage of that, and that's gonna create some AI, and the loop is gonna be deadly.
It's gonna be some wild times up ahead. But I just wanted to talk about this, just because I think when you see depression, when you see self-deletions rising specifically in males more than any other group possible, right? Men are self-deleting at insane rates. This is a big portion why.
Yes.
Whether we like to believe or not, some people might find it sad. Having a family, having a partner, those are actually very valid reasons to live on life. I said this before, but the reason that you live life, in my opinion, is for other people. But without other people, I think life is pointless.
I agree.
Without my family, without my loved ones, without the people close to me, I have literally no reason to be on this planet.
Yeah.
None. Nothing on this planet is fun or worth it enough, the suffering that's involved.
Yeah.
If I don't have the people around me that actually bring me joy, that make every day waking up much more easy and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Without them, this is all pointless.
I couldn't agree more. You look at someone that you may know, and you know for a fact that they either have little to no relationship with people in their family, and you see the misery on their face, you hear it in their voice, then it could be because of this reason here. It's important to have those connections with people in your immediate family and outside of your immediate family. And if you don't, it might be best for you to try to build or acquire those connections. I had to do it myself.
To what? Make money to do what? Like there's no amount of financial experiences that are going to matter if I don't have people to share it with, right? If I don't have loved ones I can really experience that with. And as great as friends are, friends go on with their lives, generally speaking. So when I look at people and they say, well, relationships, they actually are.
Yes.
Now, women, to their credit, seem to be much better at adapting to the single life than men. There's a difference.
Exactly. This is true. This is true. And it's very odd. It's very odd that women are better kept at understanding how to be single than men are. Because truth be told, if men had it their way, they wouldn't want to be single. You know, you hear women scream into the roof more about praising and being happy single than you do men.
Men suffer from it more. Women suffer, but not nearly as much as men. And so, good for ladies. I'm speaking specifically to the dudes. The way the economic situation is shaped, it's no surprise that women want to go for older men. Like, women are also struggling to some degree financially, so they're like, yo, why would I stay at just another dude who makes 30 to 40K just like me when I got a guy who's older, more established, got a better place, better car, and better looking? This is not condemning ladies or condemning men. It's just like, this is fucked up. And I felt this was coming a long time ago, and now that it's here and it seems going to get it worse, I wonder where it's all going to go.
I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I agree 150%.
It's going to get worse before it gets better, just like he said. The fear comes when knowing that it's a possibility that it can get worse and not get better. Y'all leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See ya. Shout out to Abba and Preach.